Yo, the Cosmic here. I just wanted to make a new type of video. Um, as I've been learning that I'm a better swing trader than I am a day trader. Uh, I wanted to go ahead and do this type of video called case study. And today I will be going over my case studies on Mark and XSPA. Um, you can t you can see I'm down technically, and I'm really not worried about it being down, because of all of the research that I've done in both of these companies. And to start off, we'll just look at the charts. Let's go straight to Mark. Mark is the prime example of a past pump and dump on its next run. I don't believe that this point it is a pump because they actually have a legitimate product with legitimate customers that are slowly being released, but it's not quite being released as the customers want, the stockholders want. So you see that it's holding right around this previous support range from back in 2017. And whenever they took off, this was a weed sympathy play. They saw that the weed sector was hot and they got in it. I don't exactly remember what it was, but it was a pump and dump, pure and simple. They ran it all the way up and then just dumped it off, and it just went down and hasn't really traded that well since, until that is right around here, the initial run up. So I was first eyeballing this initial run up. I actually played it multiple times on the way up, lost on the way down, played more on the way up, lost more on the way down. So what I've been noticing and deciding is this is more of a play and hold type situation. It's their customers are slowly coming out into light, and I will get into that right now. So my first study was what really tipped me off was whenever I heard a rumor about Mark working with Disney. And so I did a little bit of research. I looked up this site called csimarket.com. I'm not quite sure how credible it is, and there's a little bit of a red flag that I'm about to show you. So right here you see timestamp 5/24/2020, and you have Walt Disney, Comcast, uh, I don't even know how to say that, Las Vegas Sands, Marriott, Hilton, Ford, you Win, like, and that's a huge one, and this one is actually confirmed. So you go on, and the list goes on and on and on, and this was making me take a second look at it. And what they're doing is making these infrared cameras, and you see, look, they're now at Lotus of Sam. Keep going down. They're working with MGM Resorts, Caesars, Body Gaming. Actual Win was in their. Win actually posted a tweet about them as well. So let's go here. WINN. And then let's. So you will see here in Win's reopening video, I believe it was. Let's go down just a little bit more. I'm sorry, this video is probably lost in the news feed. So Wynn actually made a reopening welcome to Wynn Las Vegas, and they actually had a video of Mark software in their hotel. So this is something that's not fake. And to work with Wynn, one of the biggest, most luxurious resorts in Las Vegas is not a small laughing matter. So that was one big positive indicator for Mark. So we had that huge pump in the past. So what Tim Sykes has taught me is previous runners typically run again. If a stock has gone supernova before in the past, it can go supernova again in the future. And but one kind of red flag about the CSI markets is you come over here to its current date, and the whole list has just been cut down. You don't see a whole lot of the stocks that you saw on before. You don't see, Disney. You don't see Win here. So, and then on the Disney site, you can't find Mark. Mark is nowhere to be found in all these tickers. When beforehand, whenever I did find it in here, that was what set me off. So I'm starting to question the credibility of the site, but at the same time, the CEO of the company also disclosed in their last earnings call that they have non-disclosure agreements with a lot of their clients. So it would make sense if they were to see, my tweets, like if they were to notice that this is being spilt around the internet, and if they have non-disclosures agreements, these will have to be taken down. But with Win still not being updated on there, that's one of the biggest red flags that I see, just for this website, that is. So Mark, it has history, and it is something that's definitely worth looking at. I actually had an original plan here. Let me go back to the 7 day. 7 day, 15 minutes, fine. So their earning call was right about here. I do believe. No, this was their earning call right here. They spiked all the way to the 370s. Actually, they hit a spike at, and then they just completely crapshooted out, and I got caught in that trap, and I just lost money. And then you just see a continuous, gap down, shorts hitting this hard. I actually ended up selling my position from the earnings call, right? I sold it right after the big crap, and then I got back in the next day and ended up holding for a couple days and then selling right around here for, small loss, until it still went down. But then 2 days ago, it just started to squeeze right back up. And the CEO continuously tweets about all their products. That was all fine and dandy. That's what caused some of these big run-ups, was tweets coming out, and it's just getting tired. We want a PR. And this, what was it, a few days ago, they actually released a PR, but it was with clients in China. And with the current state of the market with China and the US relations, it's just horrible right now. So that's not the it was a PR that I wanted, and I wanted it a week ago, 2 weeks ago, before the whole US China thing started popping off. But now it's just a dead play. They need to put a PR out to actually tell their shareholders, hey, here's our list of US clients that we are allowed to disclose, because these rumors are getting it nowhere. It's actually hurting the stock even more. They tweeted like 2 or 3 times today, and normally you would see a spike, but this was the one on the first tweet, and it just dropped. And this was another tweet, and it just dropped even more. We're getting tired of it. People are selling out because they are just done with them not putting out official press releases. That being said, they do. Let me pop over to Benzinga real quick. Okay, sorry about the jump. Benzinga was going a little haywire there for me. Just have too much running at the same time. So right now, Mark has all these option calls. Uh, you have bearish, bullish, strike price at 4,250, and these are just going all the way back. And options are something that I want to pay attention to, especially people who are betting on the stock going up. And then you see more bearish trades, betting against the stock, saying that it's not going to hit that. And what what this is telling me is that this is heavily looked at stock, a heavily traded stock. And it's something that I want to put my money where these people who have the money are putting their money at. So, with that being said, they do have earnings coming up pretty soon. It's unconfirmed for about 11 days on the 16th. So we don't exactly know when. They did say that they had some warrants issued that are not going to be exercisable until I believe it is the 27th of July. Let me just kind of go through here. So they're talking about all their stuff. We have elections for directors, all that fun stuff. And let me see if I can find that warrant information. This is actually their Q1 or Q4 reports of 14A. This Form 10, I believe, is what I want to see. Sorry, guys, forgive me for that. Uh, you can do your digging into it. I know for sure that they did. Okay, there it is. So they exercised warrants that, or they issued warrants that won't be exercisable until the 27th, I believe, of July, and the warrants are for 30 cents a share. So I won't be holding until then. That's no doubt in my mind. I want to hold until then. You could see that their 2019 fiscal results were just horrible, and what I'm looking for in this next earnings is that this Q1 earnings is going to be the earnings where they made all of their contracts this year. So their contracts with Wynn will be disclosed. Their contracts with any of the other Las Vegas hotels and casinos will be disclosed. So we'll see what's going to happen around there, but I think that it's going to keep running up into this earnings call, just like it did with its last earnings call. Now, moving on to XSPA. XSPA is an interesting one. I've been looking at this one as well for about as long as I've been looking at Mark. I've traded it maybe once or twice, and I took a small loss on it because I really didn't understand the magnitude of it. Whenever it first popped up on my radar, I thought it was just them trying to be like, oh, hey, we can test in COVID in airports. But they were only in like 3 airports at the time, and they were kind of small airports. But they've been getting some legitimate clients. They've starting to ramp up real large. Just right here, they actually partnered up with Hyperpoint today, which surprises me that the stock did so poorly. But Hyperpoint has all these links. Screenshot, copy all these links if you want. But I also Spaz right here. He's done a good amount of the due diligence for me. He found all the news articles. Partnership with Relevant Healthcare. Then they dropped an offering. Then they dropped another offering. and then another offering. So that's what scares me about being in this stock. But at the same time, with all three of these offerings being dropped, the stock is still up from almost 20 cents a share. Let's go ahead and look at its little long-term chart before it started running up off the COVID plays right here. Um, it was low. It was almost at what is that? 80 cents, 81 cents. So a little bit higher than I thought. Actually, whenever it first popped on my radar was right here back in early to late May is whenever it popped up in my radar, because that's whenever it had this nice little perk. I was like, oh, okay, it's a nice gainer. Let's see what's happening. And then I realized, okay, they have some COVID plays, yada yada yada. And at this point, I was still focusing on day trading. If I hindsight trading is a bitch, but if I sat there and thought about it, hey, this company does have legs, I would have been holding. And I know people who've held this from the 40 cents a share, and they just sold out today. Like, that's a massive gain. And I don't think this is over because the economy is reopening up. People are starting to take flights. They're reported to be in DFW Airport and the Phoenix, Arizona Airport. They got a contract with JFK Airport, which is huge. So they are making massive, massive moves. And XSPA is something that I'm probably just going to swing for a little bit. Their next earnings isn't until, I believe, late July. So I'm not wanting to hold until then. Honestly, I really want to. My position's at 283. If it hits the $4 mark, that's my sell on it for both Mark and XSPA. If they hit $4, that's my sell mark. And next dip / consolidation that I see, I might go in depending on if there's any more news. Mark, I might just hold right before the earnings and base my decision on a re-entry after the earnings call. And if I'm still in a losing position, I'll probably hold through the earnings call because these earnings are going to be reporting their contracts that they have received. Mark's now completely out of debt. They're debt free, and that's just showing nothing but good signs for this company. Even though they may be a little crappy company, they have technology in a hot sector in high demand and a key role for reopening up the economy. So that's essentially my case study on XSPA and Mark. Just kind of going over the reasons why these are more of a swing trade versus a day trade. Why me being down almost $220 on them is nothing that I'm going to panic sell, because that's how I took a massive $200 loss on Mark. Was I panic sold, and then the next day it spiked. So I want to say that I'm not emotionally trading these, but the truth of the matter is the amount of research and due diligence that I've done looking at these companies, seeing what they're doing, is making me excited for the future of these companies. Even though they have had shady happenings in the past, that doesn't mean that their short-term future is also shady either. Just like you have to bet on all penny stocks or microcap stocks to fail, you also have to see whenever something is doing a right trend and follow the trend. Don't overstay your welcome. Mark definitely and XSPA can definitely crap out tomorrow. They both can just drop offerings and crap out tomorrow. I don't see that happening, or Monday, but that's just kind of my thought process behind it. And then again, trade at your own risk. If swing trading and holding isn't, and being patient isn't your kind of call, and you want to make quick 20, 30, 10, 20% gains off, dips and spikes, like right here, if you got XSPA at 218, you could have sold at 233, making 20 cents a share, making 10% of your money. Look at this massive dip right here. You could have got it at $2 1 minute. and then the next minute sold it at 240, making 20% of your money in almost what, 5 minutes. So yes, the opportunity is there to catch the dips. This was a beautiful morning panic. If you caught the bottom of the morning panic, you know you made a good 10% of your money right there. 40 cents a share, almost, yeah, about 10-15% of your money. So those are good for people who are good at getting the bottoms, playing those dips. I'm bad at it. I'm horrible at it. So that's how come I am taking the long, patient route in having these plays for a longer period of time, because they are going to start blowing up, in my opinion, within this next week. Just think about it. Vegas opened up 2 days ago. I'm surprised Mark didn't run like it was supposed to, but or it opened up last night. No, yeah, the night before last, and it just tanked because people are tired of the tweets that we don't want. People want real data, real results, and we have been getting the real results and the actual footage of them, but it means jack shit unless you actually hear it from the company, hear it from the CEO's mouth, and them not just tweeting about it, thinking that the tweets are going to be good for their public relations because it performed well once or twice. But again, that's just my thought process on both of these stocks. So let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below, like, subscribe, yada yada, whole YouTuber spill. I know it's tired and y'all hate it, but hey, somebody's got to make a living somehow. I love you guys. Peace.